In this video I'm going to show you different ways of shading with a pencil. In this demonstration I'm using a Faber-Castell 900 HB pencil, very ordinary straightforward pencil. I've got it sharpened to a long point, but it's not specially sharp for the shading demonstration. Now the first way of shading is to simply go back and forwards in straight lines, and you can achieve quite a smooth effect by shading like this. You can vary the pressure of the pencil from light pressure through to dark pressure. You can go back over and add more graphite and build up a strong tone, and that is all quite successful. The problem with shading back and forth in lines like this is what happens when you get to the edge of the area that you've shaded. You start to shade again, and however hard you try, you get this inevitable join. So if you're going to shade in vertical or horizontal lines, whichever is most comfortable for you, and I'm just keeping my pencil going up and down vertically so that you can see what I'm doing in the video, you're going to end up with tide marks across your work, which is undesirable and takes a lot of effort to later get rid of. So if you're shading a particular area and you're using that method, then you need to cover all of it in each stroke. So if I'm going to shade this box that I've marked out previously, I need to shade back and forth within that area, and that becomes a little bit more difficult. So it's harder to control to get the pencil into exactly the right place, and then you find yourself having to go around the edge, and again it can create a bit of a line, and you do a little bit more and you find that you've got to go over that, and you end up with these undesirable marks right across the shaded work. And this is what you see in an awful lot of drawings where people have attempted to use shading for the first time without really planning out what you're going to do. A better way of shading is, instead of using an up and down or side to side or diagonal motion, a better way of doing it is to shade in small ellipses, so going around and around in small circular motion and gradually building the tone on the paper. You can return to it over and over again, but you don't end up with the hard lines. So if you wanted to shade a larger area or an irregular shape, you can gradually build out to the edge without creating lines. And when you want to make the tone stronger, to make the pencil darker, you can come back over the area where you've already worked without creating lines. So once I'm in an area that is already covered in graphite and pencil, I'm just going back over, and my pencil is always moving in a circular motion rather than sawing back and forth which leaves lines where you turn around. And you want a smooth finish, you can use a blending paper stump and start to push the graphite around on the surface of the paper. This is a little less controllable than with the pencil itself, but you can start to smooth that out quite a bit. And the harder you press, the more the graphite gets pushed into the paper and the smoother the finish becomes. And that is quite a quick way of achieving something that is almost as smooth as the harder pencil, the HB pencil, but you can get that down very quickly.